Gary Giacomini was born in Belvedere, California in 1939. He started school in a two-room schoolhouse, attended St. Raphael's in San Rafael, and Marin Catholic High School, where he served as class president and a member of the debate team. Along the way, he acquired an affinity for the more natural side of Marin County, as a young boy through his love of sailing on the bay, and then later in his teens as keeper of a deer camp with his friend Dave Freitas. He spent his undergraduate years at St. Mary's in Moraga, where he almost became a Christian brother. He finished his formal education at Hastings School of Law, where he graduated with honors. After graduating Hastings, he took a job with a local law firm, where, among other cases, he represented the Marin Independent Journal in a brutal strike with the Printers Union. It was in 1968, however, that his political career began in earnest, with a seat on the Lagunitas School Board. Gary was a progressive, conservation-oriented Republican when he decided to run for county supervisor on a platform of fighting overdevelopment in Marin. He was elected Marin County 4th District Supervisor in 1972, where he served until 1996. Gary changed political parties to be a Democrat in the 1980s, but nothing changed about his values and goals. His leadership shaped the development of Marin County and was key in making the last place last. During his tenure, he was a staunch defender and preserver of West Marin ranchlands, fighting off numerous attempts to build multi-lane highways and large housing developments on pristine agricultural land. In the process, he forged an unlikely détente between ranchers and environmentalists and played an instrumental part in the formation of the Marin Agricultural Land Trust.
At the time, Marin was slated for east-west freeway, 8-lane freeway, and thousands, if not, I think it was 1.2 million building sites in West Marin. It was going to be a very different place. So the only tool we had at our disposal was zoning. I remember putting those same people, the environmentalists and ranchers, together in the room. Everybody in the early days, and I tried to teach everybody that you really have exactly the same goals. You really do, and everybody learned a lot from each other, and there became a lot of alliances developed over time, but it wasn't easy.
A large property in the San Geronimo area was named the Gary Giacomini Open Space Preserve, honoring him for being instrumental in orchestrating the deal that saved the land from development. He has been described as a colorful, take-no-prisoners speaker who never shot from the hip but was always coldly calculating and taking on whatever challenges came his way. When swaying people to his perspective, Gary did it with a unique combination of reason, humor, and persuasion. His biggest and arguably most memorable confrontation was with the San Francisco Foundation over the disposition of the money bequeathed to the county of Marin by oil heiress Beryl Buck through the Buck Fund. The San Francisco Foundation wanted to change the terms of the bequest and spread the money out over other areas and organizations in the North Bay. Gary and the Board of Supervisors took on the David and Goliath challenge of keeping the money within the county in accordance with the will. A story is told of Gary being asked by an audience at the Commonwealth Club in San Francisco, "What would you do with the Buck money?" To which he replied, "I'd create a facility to deal with something that affected everyone on the planet." And in 1986, when the suit was settled with the formation of the Marin Community Foundation and their charter to administer the Buck Fund monies, a major recipient was the newly founded Buck Institute for Research on Aging, the nation's first independent research facility focused solely on understanding the connection between aging and chronic disease. When he finished his last term as a Marin County supervisor, he had served 24 years, the longest-serving county supervisor in the history of California at the time. Not one to rest on his laurels, however, he joined the firm of Hanson Bridget and helped establish the firm's Marin practices and continued to be a political force in the North Bay. Gary also served as a member of 25 other state and regional boards and commissions, among them the Golden Gate Bridge District Board of Directors, the California Coastal Commission, and North Bay Leadership Council. After Gary left office, he served 2 terms on the board of the Marin Community Foundation. He also served as the board chairman. The 52-year San Geronimo Valley resident loved spending time with his beloved family, including his wife Linda, his sons Anthony, Andrew, Andrew's wife Susie, and grandchildren Dante, Nico, Andrea, Rakanui, Giovanni, and Jace. A Marin magazine story in 2007 named Gary as one of the 13 most influential individuals in Marin County history. That he was. Over the years, his style gathered admirers and not a few enemies, but most of all, he established a reputation as a can-do politician and leader. Gary Giacomini was a political lion in Marin County for over 50 years and leaves behind a legacy of leadership that will be perpetuated for generations to come.
The preservation of these spaces in Marin has made it be possible for Marin to be the lungs of the Bay Area, if you will. Just like there has to be places where people work and live, there has to be places where people can recreate in all senses of that word.